Hey everyone, today is the May 9th. I just want to update you guys on this orchid. Um, so here's the thing. The weather down here in California is actually quite warm now. So I've took it's been a few months now. I've took this orchid out of its pot. So I was planning on getting rid of the sphagnum moss, but I find that in the middle of the day, once I go to work, the room that I stay in is actually quite warm, and I was really worried that the orchid will be dried up. So I didn't take out the sphagnum moss, as you can see, and then I leave it on this container. Funny enough, you know, if you go to a store, what is this box? Um, if you buy the arugula, it comes in this box. So after I consume all that arugula, I actually decided to put the orchid in here. Now here's a few reasons, and this is why I want to show you guys the video. So I noticed I was playing around. So I took this orchid out of its original plastic container. Not really plastic, like those soft plastic that wraps around the sphagnum moss, and that's all it's sold. It was sold in that way at the market, and I bought it. The flower, I take care of it, and the flower lasted three months, I would say. So from January to March, the flower actually stay on the stem pretty long. So I was pretty happy, and the flower is white and pinkish blend. I really like that. And so here's a few things that I want to show you guys today. So it's all about the root. Now another reason is when I put it, when I tried out in this metal container, all so I've already cut out all the root, the black roots. Um, it's funny, any of these roots, if it touches the metal container, I was just trying it out. It all turned black, so I guess it didn't react too well to it. But today I just want to show you the importance of the roots. So for me to leave the sphagnum moss this way and leave it in this container, and another thing is because I really put this plant right against the sun. Now I gotta keep an eye out on it so it doesn't burn as well. So this is what happened. I mean, within, I would say, 3 or 4 weeks, you get these huge roots coming out, and I really like that. It shows that it wants to thrive. Um, Now, not like these small little roots, like but actually, some of these roots. These are some of the root that I was growing in a pot, like these here, which is really good. But when I decided to put it out in the open, and look at this, these roots are, it's actually pretty big. It's like, well, if you compare with a thumb, yeah, with a nail, with a finger, not that big, but I would say it's pretty big for its standard. Now, as you can see, I think it's enjoying it. It's enjoying having this open space. That's what how it grow in the wild. And because of the sphagnum moss, I water it, so I keep it the main root inside. I kept it moist, so the leaf is pretty rigid. But without this, I think if I go to work and I leave this plant in the room, um, the everything will dried up within a day, and the leaf will be very shriveled up. But today, I want to show you how I've actually watered it. So let me back this up a little bit. So I use this container, this water spray bottle, and I put a little bit of the orchids food in it. And the best way for to feed this orchid is just spray it directly. Now with this spray, it really helps. Before I was using some really lazy way of doing it, but the spray, if you notice how the root right now, it's actually grayish color, but you don't want to go crazy at it at first. Just give it a few spray, let it give it some time to absorb. And if you notice, it started to change the color. So what I would do is spray a little bit. I spray it in on every root I can, and then I would just rotate a little bit. I'll give you, let you have a look here. So you go underneath the leaves, spray a little bit. Now I don't know if everybody do this. Maybe just a few of us who likes to take care of the orchid this way. I mean, I find that this is one of the best way to water the orchid. And as you can see, the root's really loving it, and it's growing in a larger scale than I expected. Same goes here. Without this spray, it's really hard. Before I was trying to use a water bottle, trying to, soak this root here. It took me a while. I was trying to pour the water bottle in here. Sometimes it goes way off, and it got all over the place. But with this spray, it's actually, you get to like every part of the root wherever you want to spray it to. It's really nice. Now on top of that, I want to mention something. A lot of people say the orchid, it doesn't like the sun, but actually it needs the sun. With the sun, now let me step back. When I bought this plant, there wasn't any of this these two leaves. Like this one wasn't doesn't exist. So it's just this and this major one, this big one. Now, as soon as the flower fell off in March, you can see this one here. It grew out. It grew out quite long, quite big. And then during that time, I haven't done a lot of stuff to it. Just once in a while, keep it in the sun, and sometimes I'm afraid to get it burned as well. But so I kept it in the sun, and I think it really likes it. The sun feeds it feeds on the sun, and um, it's very rigid, and it's growing really well. And then as soon as this thing's finished, not long after, I would say this one is about 2 weeks now, and now it's starting to grow. Every day I put it in the sun. Now, um, as I mentioned, putting it in the sun is one thing, but sometimes you gotta be careful because if there's no airflow where you put put the plant in the sun, if it gets too hot, it could burn. So yeah, yes, the orchid doesn't like too much sun, but it does needs the sun, and I'm not sure if this root uh, likes the sun either, but I find that this direction, I get the orchid facing this direction, and along like the where the sun rays travel throughout the day. I get more roots coming out of here, so maybe it likes the photosynthesis, and maybe it does um, that as well, other than the leaf. I'm not sure. I don't want to guess, but I find that, hey, the roots loving it, so why not? But now what I do is I try to rotate it within a few, like I say, in an hour into the sun. But it really depends on how strong the sun ray is. But I say 1 hour, and then I rotate, and then another hour I rotate again. And as you can see, right, judging by the leaves here, you could tell the way the direction the leaf it wants to bend, it bends towards the sun, like you can see here, right now. So what I would do is sometimes I put it back in this direction so the leaf bends back. You don't want it to go too drastic to, like, let's say this end of the leaf goes all the way out to this side. But then again, as long, you know what, as long as it grows, and as long as it covers the space, the surface, to collect more sunlight, I don't think where it bends matter. As long as you have, I think I would prefer the leaves. One leaf goes that direction, another leaf goes this direction towards me. This way, if you put it in the sun, at least it'll absorb more surface area of the sunlight. And once it grow out to its full length, it won't move anymore. So yeah, I just want to update on how I was growing this plant, and it's all part of the trial and error. And when I decided to put it on this white plastic, now one thing, clear plastic, sorry. Um, One thing I want to mention is anything with clear plastic, moisture, and sunlight, it actually promote the algae, and it kills like anything, like especially with these roots, it really hates the algae, and the algae kills it. And why am I doing this? So I think what happened is, because even though it's in a clear plastic, you got moisture, but you have open air, so the algae doesn't get a chance to grow as much. If it was sealed and you got moisture and sunlight, the algae will love that environment. So right now I'm keeping an eye out on any green stuff on these sphagnum moss. If I see any green stuff, I'm slowly gonna move it around. Maybe there's one here. I'll keep an eye out on it, and I'm gonna move it around or get rid of it or pull it out. So this way the algae doesn't have a chance to grow on here. Yeah, and again, the orchid don't really like that. Now I just want to show you the root system again. Pretty nice. I was kind of surprised to see a lot of these root growing out this way. Um, but you know what? I think I'm gonna continue doing this throughout the whole summer and see how this thing will fan out. And then maybe in the winter, um, maybe it will get more like really strong spikes and more flower. We don't know. I'm just feeding it every day, a little bit of spray here and there, and a few times a day. I think it's good enough. You don't want to like drown it either, but I think it's harder for it to die in this kind of open space. One thing I need to be careful is the sphagnum moss. I don't want it to be way too wet, so I'm trying to spray. Whenever I try to spray, I'm going to spray it onto the root itself. And if I, let's say if I travel and I'm not going to be home, I would just soak this a little bit more, and not too much on the, I mean the root is fine, but within a few days the sphagnum moss will hold the moisture for it to survive without being wither up. But yeah, so more on that later. I'll update more for you guys. And if you guys have any more question or any ideas on how to get this thing grow even better, share some video. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. So I'll see you next time.